Hello, hello.
Hi.
We are live. We are here tonight with the Parsnip ship for the broadcast of Kevin Lamb by the wonderful Matthew Lee Earlbach. Hello, everyone. If you don't know, I'm Al Parker. I use they, she pronouns. I'm calling in from unceded Lenape land in Brooklyn, and I'm the artistic associate of the Parsnip ship. And I've been having a lot of fun this last year doing these little conversations with playwrights. And tonight I'm so excited to be talking with Matthew. How are you?
You know, I am I have had an overwhelming day and it's all led up to this moment. I'm very happy to be here with you. Um, we are still in a pandemic. We are still in a fight for democracy. We're still in a fight for economic, racial, social, and political justice. And today was one of those days where it just all came to a head. We can live with it and we can dance with it. And sometimes your dance partner just leaves you on the dance floor, and sometimes you trip and you got to get back up. And, I think that we've had to normalize our circumstances for so long, and particularly in the last two
Oh, yeah.
years for
Oh,
a
yeah.
very intense period. So, anyways, I won't get into specifics, but I'm just coming to you real raw right now. And here we are. We are people, we are humans, and that's what's happening.
We are, and I love and appreciate just the emotional honesty, which I think, like in a lot of areas of life, we may all, could use a little more of that, of just like showing up authentically, not putting on the people face of this is how I have to
Look,
act with the people now. You don't need to put on any airs or any masks with us.
I got no act. I got no act.
But what do you have? What what do you got? I've had a long day as well. I really feel where you're coming from. Um, it's been a lot of ups and downs this year. Like weirdly for just personally, like 2021 for me was like significantly worse than 2020. Like I feel like 2020 hit a lot of people very hard for a lot of reasons. Like I kind of just coasted through 2020 for the most part, but man, 2021 has been just a lot of ups and downs. It's been pounding the pavement, it's been hustling, it's been stress, it's been family issues, death in the family, like all kinds of things that just this year it's like, oh, like some people do behave like the pandemic's over, like everything's back to normal, like all of these things that we went through last year are over. And it's like it doesn't feel over. It just feels like we have to go through that and then also go back to work in person and do the commute and try to get theater live and back up in these full productions and everything, which just seems like we have to now do both. We have to do all the stress of the before and the stress of the pandemic life. It's like that's a lot of stress, I think. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
But but we have been also doing with Parsnip. We haven't come back in person yet. That is pending for us. Those plans are still going through the motions, but we've been doing a lot of digital. We've been doing a lot of digital things this past almost 2 years. And last week it was so absolutely incredible. I was in the audience for this one, listening to you, Matthew, in conversation with three other amazing playwrights who we at Parsnip have had the pleasure of working with in one capacity or another over the years, talking about allyship and playwriting and what does it mean to write certain things, what does it mean to write intentionally, and what does it mean to write conscious of your audience. And like Chris, like y'all covered so much in such a short amount of time. It was only an hour. I wish y'all could have just gone on and on and on, because like those are the really interesting kinds of conversations. Those are the really interesting kinds of And I hadn't like we produced that event, and like we picked the topic and like all of that very specifically leading up to tonight's broadcast. But even like re-listening to it, this episode more recently, like you and Yvonne actually we kept the interview that you did with Yvonne. What was that 3 years ago? 3.5 years ago? It's been a time. And so much of it is still relevant. But you also do like talk a little bit about in that interview some of the topics we touched on. So I'm really excited for folks to also hear that. Like this story is still relevant. Sometimes they're a little in the same ways, which is a little disheartening, and some in new ways, which can be a little more heartening. But yeah, like how have you been doing more recently? Because this is a bit of an older play. You started in 2012. It's been a long journey for this play. But what have you been up to a little more recently? If you want to share.
Sure. Well, just in addition to my writing, which I can talk about, what I have been doing in the last year is I've been fighting for relief, recovery, and representation for arts and culture workers in this country. The 5.2 million of us that make up everything from theater to music workers to museum workers, cultural workers, you name it. And we have been, my organization is Be an Arts Hero, is now our campaign. The organization is a 501c4 called Arts Workers United. And we have been working on policy initiatives. We've gotten some things passed. I've been writing policy. I've been co-writing policy. I've been working on organizing coalitions across the country, Indigenous organizations to big institutions, and lobbying Congress, meeting with, senators and members of the House. So, I've had to take a step back from that to focus on the writing work. I had a show that I was working on at Netflix, and then other TV stuff and some future theater stuff coming up next year, some which I can't talk about. But what I do as a writer, and I say that all because my job, as I see it, is to be a public servant, and I believe that writing is a civic duty. So whether I am telling the story of $919 billion generated by 5.2 million American arts and culture workers across 435 congressional districts, whether I'm telling that story, which, by the way, that's more money than agriculture and mining combined. And yet there is a Secretary and Department of Agriculture. There is a Secretary and Department of Energy. There is a Secretary and Department of Transportation. How is there not of arts and culture? One of the largest economic drivers in this country, one of the largest economic exports that we have is our culture. So whether I'm telling the story...
Oh, yeah. I don't think we have the time to go into the conversation of how the arts are systematically devalued in our country. But
while I'm telling that story, I'm also working on, my job is to go to where the silence is to give voice to the voiceless, to make the invisible visible. That's what I was trying to do with Kevin Lamb. That's what I try to do in all my plays. And in anything that I write is to give voice to. So how I've been doing, I've been filled with passion and hope and rage and desperation and curiosity, which is the thing that drives me. Working on a project about truth and journalism. I've been working on a project about conflict minerals, and I've been working on a project about UFOs and religion. So, I write a lot. I do a lot in science fiction, which you wouldn't know because it's all the TV stuff. But anyway, I'm rambling. So
As you
please
should.
interrupt me.
As you should. Please ramble. This is space for you to say whatever you want.
Right.
This is this is Parsnip uncensored. We
Well,
don't censor anyway, but
yeah.
like this is.
Well, I want to say thank you, one, for having me initially, and then for bringing me back. I think that what you all have been doing, you saw something before everyone else saw it and before everyone else needed it. And I just want to hand it to you for the community that you've been creating around these conversations, having these conversations and engaging in the way you have. And I just want to say thank you for bringing me into that conversation. I appreciate it.
Oh, we are so, so grateful to have you back and to have a deeper conversation around some of these topics. That's definitely something that's like very important to us. And we're really grateful to be able to work with playwrights like you, creators like you, who like are ready to have these conversations. Like people are ready. Like we've been ready to have these kinds of conversations. And it was great, your interview with Yvonne 3.5 years ago. It was great, the conversation y'all had just a week ago. And it's exciting too, the conversations people are gonna be having, because I grapple with such like a hopeful cynicism, or maybe it's like a cynical hopefulness, of like we've gone through like, oh, this reckoning and conversations are happening, and it's like, okay, conversations are happening, where's the action, where's the conversations that go from just recognizing to talking about planning, and like I know like theater in particular, our country in general, have had these moments previously, and there have been some steps forward. I'm in a place where I'm like really curious and a bit cynical about how forward will go in this moment and the next few coming. And that might also be just a little bit, I found out like a half hour before this broadcast that bell hooks died, and that was just devastating. Like I have not processed that yet. But yeah, it's one of those things too of like there's so much going on that's very specific culturally to this moment of so much loss. And then there's also just general things where like life keeps going on, both the good and the bad. And we just have to keep going.
Yeah, it's interesting. Bell Hooks dying. It's horrible. She's, what can you say? And the thing I wonder is, did everybody who needed to hear her? And this is one of the things that I ask about theater a lot too. Who are we talking to? And this is a tactical thing also for this cultural reckoning that we're having. When do we need to change tactics? When do we need to look at our outside game and our inside game? When is it enough of an achievement to go, all right, the conversation has been changed, let's sustain that while, looking at the field and looking at the board. And, sometimes I feel like, and I feel like this happens a lot, is, we all have to be ready to pivot. And when you have what feels like decentralized movements that comprise a larger superstructure of a movement, which is, it feels like it's what's happening, there's got to be just, let me just tell you, I'm so fucking mad at the Democrats. I'm so fucking mad at the Democrats. And I just like, where are we taking this energy right now? How are we being tactical and strategic about it? How do we make sure that as we're changing culture, we're legislating appropriately, that we are bringing our values into legislation, into policy, that we're doing this before it's too late? And I feel such a clock. I feel such a sense of urgency. Mm-hmm. How do you build, and also how do you build bridges with another side that is in a completely different sonic landscape? There is a deprogramming that has to happen. There is a cult mentality that has like captivated another side of the aisle. Mm-hmm. White supremacy has captured the right. Conspiracy has captured the right. And I just go, we have the levers of power in government, and yet how do we have all these losses? How are we licking our wounds? How do people, you talk about cynical hope, how do we trust our government when the government can't deliver for us? What has to happen? So I understand, relate. And anyways.
Yeah, I think it's like from two ends too, of like, not only like, how can we trust a government that was also set up not by people who are not interested in helping us, and now is currently run by people who are not interested in helping us. And it's like, but set up as an institution where the government is supposed to serve the people. And it seems like, has there ever been people in charge of the government who actually hold those values? It seems like we hold those values, and then we elect people who tell us they hold those values, and it's like, okay, now you have to act on those. And then there's always this reason and that reason and this money and that, there's always something that gets in the way. There's always something that gets in the way. But also, a side note, to you said we need to pivot, and I think I saw someone in writing say the word pivot recently, and that's the first time I've heard that word in months. And I'm grateful that I no longer have like flashbacks to the time when every single person in the world was saying, we pivot. We need to pivot into this digital age. We need to pivot into this time where we can't be in our shared spaces. Like that word was like almost like kind of a little bit triggering me for a little while, of just like every single person was saying it. But clearly there's been some time. I have acclimatized. And I can hear you say it without being like, what's happening? Is someone about to ask me for money?
Yeah, pivot, offline, circle back. They really had their moment. I will say to what, just really quickly, I don't think our government I know it wasn't set up for the people. This government was built on the backs of enslaved people, on the backs of free labor. This was an oligarchy from the beginning. And when you look at the jobs now that are becoming automated, and when you look at all the pushback from the labor movement in the 20th century, bloody massacres made national headlines because the National Guard, militias, Baldwin Felts agents were brought in to kill coal miners. Look up the Ludlow massacre. Look up the Battle of Blair Mountain. Look up the labor movement. This country was set up to be a corporation. Now, we can have hope and look at what we've done. Look at what we've changed. But when you have Amazon workers who are told not to leave the factory during a fucking tornado or they'll get fired, meanwhile, the boss is flying to outer space, this is a farce. There is something fundamentally wrong with the system. So it is set up this way. You're right. We can be hopeful because we can change, but it will take a true revolution of compassion, of love, and of boots on the ground policy, brick by brick, state legislature by state legislature, city council by city council. We've got to continue what we're doing. I don't know if we pivot. I'm like obviously in a very raw space right now where I have a lot, like I'm not able to articulate what I want to, but I'm just like, I'm overwhelmed by possibility, and I'm overwhelmed by the largesse of it all. And that's where you find me right now. And I'll just bring this back to Kevin Lamb. That is also the point of ignition for this play, this was before Trayvon Martin. People were not talking about Black bodies getting murdered in the streets. And it was just this like kind of, 6th page thing. And it was just like, what the fuck is going on here? Why is nobody dealing with this? Why aren't we talking about this? How is this happening in our country? And so it was an offering. It was trying to figure it out. And it was trying to tell a story 2 ways of this is what happens here. This is what happens here. And, that was like almost 10 years ago. I was a very different writer then, but the same thing was driving me, which is this just what the fuckness of it all. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
The fuck?
The unanswerable question. Will there be an answer? One day, maybe.
One day.
What the fuck? I feel like that's a good question to segue us into the episode, and we can explore a little further with this absolutely incredible play. What the fuck? So, thank you so much, Matthew. I'm glad that despite like the rawness that you were able to articulate what you articulated, I think that was maybe what we needed in this moment. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you everyone who is watching, and we'll take it away into the episode. Enjoy.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live radio play broadcast of The Parsnip Ship Presents Kevin Lamb by Matthew Lee Earlbach, directed by Michelle Bossy, with music by Ashni. This episode was recorded live in Brooklyn, New York in June 2018 and is produced by The Parsnip Ship and Business Lunch Productions. To listen to more episodes of The Parsnip Ship and to support our mission of amplifying bold artists for audiences who crave accessible stories and storytellers, please visit our website, theparsnipship.com. Please also follow us on social media at the Parsnip Ship NY to stay up to date on all things Parsnip, including upcoming broadcasts, happy hours, play club, and more programming. New plays, new music. This is how we hear theater. Without further ado, Kevin Lamb. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Parsnip Ship. Tonight, we are here at House Studios in Brooklyn to hear Kevin Lamb by Matthew Lee Earlbach. This reading tonight is directed by Michelle Bossy with music guest Ashni. Before we get into our first song and the play, the first thing that we like to ask to our playwright is, what would the world be missing if it didn't have this play?
I think it's such a great question, and I think that it's something that I think about a lot because I look at writing as a public service. So I think with this particular play, anytime I look at my work as, we live in a very dark world. So if each play of mine can be a flashlight to a different corner of our society, shining light in those places where society has cast a shadow, then I am helping illuminate something important for an audience that they might not know. Characters, ideas, themes, and stories that are not given attention. So I'm answering the question that way. I think that we're at a point right now in our culture where, I wrote this play in 2012 before Trayvon happened, and it was from an article in the Reading Eagle in Pennsylvania about these kids and who got in a fight with this white biker, and one of them got killed and two of them were injured, and then this guy got off free. And there was no article further about it. And I grew up in Chicago and Rogers Park, and these stories weren't hitting the media like they are now, or as they have been. And now that white supremacy has been given permission in such a public way, it's interesting to see how this play was in 2012 when I first wrote it, and now it's I don't know that theater can change the world, but I certainly think that we can. The more light we have, the less we'll be feeling our way to find a way, because the way will be clearer. So I feel like, if anything, I'm just adding more light to that conversation, or at least I hope I am. That's the attempt in any case. Yeah. That's what I got.
Amazing. And with that, our first song by Ashni.
I've got silence on my heels. I've got stars in my head. I'm holding on to everything I can feel. I've got yellow on my mouth. I won't whisper if you don't shout. I've got black on my fingertips. I'm pulling at your edges until they rip. I've got honey on my throat. My words are sweet, but sometimes I choke. You have salt on your tongue. You think you won. You have diamonds to your name, bending rules in your own game. You have power in your hands. I keep trying to make you understand. I've got secrets in my ear. Tell me quickly what you don't fear. I'm a lioness in the fray, and I'm not ashamed. I've got honey on my throat. My words are sweet, but sometimes I choke. You have salt on your tongue.
I'm Wesley T. Jones, and I'll be reading for Kevin Lamb.
My name is Evander Duck. I'll be reading Harvey Lamb and Officer Ortiz.
Hi, my name is Tonye Patano, and I'm reading Sheila.
I'm Michael Countryman. I'm reading Hank.
I'm Erin Wilhemi, reading Heather.
Cathy, Curtin, and I'm reading Angela.
Patrice Bell, I'll be reading the stage directions. Kevin Lamb by Matthew Lee Earlbach. Redemption now. Deliverance of sinners from the penalty of their sin through their murder of the deity against whom they sinned. The doctrine of redemption is the fundamental mystery of our holy religions, and whoso believeth in it shall not perish, but have everlasting life in which to try to understand it. Ambrose Bierce. Characters. Hank Reading, male, white, professor of Comp Lit at the University of Chicago. Heather's father, Angela's brother-in-law. Heather, Reading, 20s, female, white, student, Hank's daughter, Angela's niece. Angela, Reading, female, white, unemployed artist and recovering addict, Hank's sister-in-law, Heather's aunt. Kevin Lamb, male, black, student, Sheila and Harvey's son. Sheila Lamb, female, black, pediatrician, Kevin's mother, Harvey's wife. Harvey Lamb, male, black, chemist, Kevin's father, Sheila's husband. Played by same actor as Officer Ortiz. Officer Ortiz, male, interrogation officer, played by same actor as Harvey Lamb. Scene 1, July 4th, 2012. A police station in Hyde Park, Chicago. Officer Ortiz interviews Hank.
You need some water?
I'm okay.
All right, I'm going to turn this back on, okay?
He turns on the tape recorder.
All right, let's pick up after you rode onto the bridge.
I'm sorry. I'm still a little shaky. The whole thing is just...
Just take your time.
Yeah.
Why don't we go back to the bridge?
Onto the pedestrian bridge.
On the pedestrian bridge, right.
Right.
Hank takes off his glasses and rubs his eyes.
God.
You all right?
Fine. My eyes, I'm fine.
Hank puts his glasses back on.
Once my bike hit the bridge, I heard a yell, someone yelling, and I looked back.
Was it 3 kids?
Well,
We're looking for 3 kids who robbed an area corner store around the same time as this incident. Who did you see rushing towards you?
3 kids.
3? And what did they look like?
I don't. Short. One was tall.
Race?
I don't remember.
Well, one was black. The one who...
Look, I don't want...
They were black.
Hank drinks some water.
Fine. I'm fine. Where was... I don't know where I was.
The black kids on the bridge.
Right. So I turn around, rushing towards me, and
they punched you.
I don't remember.
How'd they get you off your bike?
Punched, yes. Pushed. And, well, I should say, because it's just, I'm not totally innocent here.
It's okay. Which ones were kicking you?
I'm not sure.
What about the one struggling with you?
Kevin, the young man.
Kevin? How do you know he was Kevin?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Okay. Continue. They were robbing you.
Well, no,
Where's your wallet?
Oh, I don't.
So they were robbing you. They took it. There was no wallet at the crime scene.
Hank takes off his glasses, rubs his eyes.
And that's when you found your gun and shot as they were beating you and robbing you.
Ortiz looks through some papers.
May I ask you a question?
Blood tests show alcohol and fluoxetine in your system. You okay?
I've been under some stress recently. My wife, she...
Officer Ortiz holds up 2 fingers.
How many fingers?
3.
As Ortiz writes something down.
Sounds like it was self-defense to me.
Pardon?
I'm saying.
It was an accident. Look, I should be honest here and tell you...
Officer Ortiz shuts off the tape recorder.
Look, these kids in this city are running amok. We've had 9 187s today alone, and it's the 4th of July. Between you and me, it's one less thug I gotta worry about.
Ortiz gathers his stuff and stands.
How is he?
Why don't we take a break for a bit, all right? Let's try to keep this out of the public eye, okay? For everyone's sake. Situations like this have a tendency to turn people into monsters.
How is he?
He's over at Resurrection. DOA.
Sorry. DOA?
Dead on arrival. Look, I know how hard this is. These are just things that happen, you know?
Ortiz exits. Scene 2, Christmas Eve, 2012, 6 months later. A bungalow in Rogers Park, Chicago. Opened and unopened moving boxes are here and there. A Christmas tree. Hank is changing a Christmas record on a record player. Heather and Angela drink. Angela pours liberally throughout the scene.
We're talking about...
We live in a civilized world, Heather.
We are on the brink.
We've heard.
Okay?
All right.
We are talking about the end of the world as we know it.
Well, I feel fine.
Heather.
Drastic measures need to be taken.
Drastic measures, she
Thanks.
says.
But we've heard this before.
But this is MIT.
In the 60s.
You're not.
It's always somebody.
And the 70s and the 80s, and you name it.
I have to do the roll, so.
You have a second.
But this is a highly prestigious think tank out of Italy that hired MIT to investigate Monsanto and ConAgra.
Honey.
So we need to litigate all of these areas to save.
Honey,
litigate. Now we're being
you'll end up
litigated.
starving
Just
wearing a
like high
burlap
school.
sack.
You remember she got kicked out for this?
All of our natural
Boycotting the
resources
school
run out. We've hit
cafeteria
peak
for
oil. We're going
connections
to
to
hit
prison
peak
labor
water.
or something or other.
Don't get me started on New Trier High School.
God help the pre-law program at Amherst. She's a handful.
You guys mock me all you want, but this world is owned, bought, and sold by people with no connection to real human beings.
Propaganda.
Always a
They're
panic.
genetically engineering our seeds with pesticides, for Christ's sake.
Every generation.
This is our food. No wonder we're so sick. This is everything.
Everything is everything.
And everything is nothing.
I can't believe this. Two such well-informed. You're a renowned professor at the University of Chicago, for Christ's sake, Dad, and you.
I'm thankful for the unemployment.
Yes, but you reason, you know.
Your fire is so contagious, sweetheart. Have some more whiskey. Let's try to dull out the flame a little before the night carries on.
You both are scared. That's why you're so glib about it.
Glib.
No, Heather.
She thinks I'm
it's
glib.
because we've been through this before. This is apocalyptic.
It isn't.
It is. It's like with all of the zombie stuff
Cynical,
right now.
glib,
It's because
twittering,
there's this
twits,
romantic,
unbelievable.
the apocalypse is so
Facebook,
romantic.
Everything's so ironic
It's
today.
so romantic
And what
to
is
think
that about?
about.
And cats. Everyone's obsessed with cats on the internet.
Young people and extremists love to talk about
What is
it.
that about anyway?
Nuclear war, food scares, peak oil. When we were kids, it was the Soviets and the homosexuals. Now it's the Muslims and, well, the homosexuals.
The young and extremists.
The
At
terrorist
least you care,
homosexual
honey, but
jihad.
you're just on the wrong side, that's all.
Oh,
Thank you for lumping us all together as if we're some inseparable demographic without any individual characteristics or thoughts of our own.
Oh, you're
Such
welcome.
doom
Look, it's not that I don't
everywhere. Can we just
appreciate the
find some
sentiment, the
light
warning,
for a
if
moment?
you will. And I support you more than you know. But love, it's Christmas.
She's right.
We're Jewish.
It's secular.
You're half.
The Catholic side of me wants to talk about this.
Well, the Jewish side of me wants to eat my feelings. Look, we should be celebrating life and not prance around death.
Dad,
I agree.
agree with what?
With which, sweetheart?
I can't believe you two. Making it seem like I'm crazy. This is important. What does one have to do to legitimize their beliefs to people who think they have all the answers already?
Speak quieter, for one, darling. Aspirin?
Bathroom, in one of the boxes next to the sink.
No, but seriously.
What I think your aunt is trying to say is that you need to find a more, how should I put it, balanced arguments together for the listener. All you've been doing is screaming this liberal,
It's not liberal.
paranoid, political, whatever you want to.
It's not political. What I'm talking about is not political.
I understand, sweetheart.
And it's definitely not paranoid. These are statistics.
I
There
understand.
are
It's human.
always
That's right.
statistics.
Yeah, that's right.
See, I understand.
No, but you don't. Because if you did, you'd be out there protesting.
All right.
I've done that. It gets you arrested.
See? And that's the problem. It shouldn't be like that.
Everything should be something else.
Has someone checked on the oven?
We have a few minutes.
What does that even mean?
Everything should. Look. And after this, I'd really like to move on. I'm hungry.
Starving.
One needs to eat before our whole system comes crashing down on us. Isn't that right, Heather?
Ha, ha.
But if it was the other way around and all the protesters got everything they wanted, then you'd be saying the people have too much power. If the people were always right, we'd still have slaves, honey.
No, that's
The blacks would still be segregated.
the blacks.
I'm sorry. African American.
They are segregated. Have you looked around Chicago lately? This country? In Boston, it's terrible.
We have a black president, for crying out
Let's not
loud.
even go there,
Not
okay?
that I
That's
voted
not
for
even.
him. Point is, people don't always know what they want until someone gives it to them.
That's right.
That's the same big conservative government talk that's
So please, what is with all the politics? This is the last thing we need to be talking about. Isn't that a rule? No politics over the holidays? How about the Bulls? How's Michael Jordan doing?
He left Chicago over 10 years ago.
Well, I always liked him.
Balanced argument, sweetheart. You have to give people a conversation, not just your point of view. There's so much yelling nowadays. No one's listening anymore. It's who can yell the loudest. You're smarter than that. You'll learn.
I agree.
I mean, you act like we're all in some kind of anarchy. Heather.
I didn't say
It's
that.
just not this way. I refuse to believe it.
I didn't say this is anarchy. But when you really think about it, it is amazing we're able to maintain society at all.
Wow, that's too deep for me. Thanks.
All right.
The fundamental project of human civilization is up for grabs. Are we going to rewrite these social contracts and rebuild what is broken? Are you part of the past or the future?
Well, I'm hungry. That's what I am.
Come on, Dad. You always used to love this kind of
All
stuff.
right, I said.
All right, your father isn't in the mood.
Which is it, Dad? Are you the past or the future?
I said all right!
The Christmas record continues lightly in the background.
Does anyone need anything from the upstairs?
I'm sorry.
Hank?
Fine, thanks.
Angela heads upstairs. Heather walks around the living room. Hank pulls out a container from his pocket and drops a pill into his hand.
How's your heart?
Oh, you know, last I checked, it's still there, so.
Hank reaches for some water on the table and swallows it down.
It's nice.
Well, it's just me now. Me and the books.
We loved that house. You loved that house.
The things which I have seen, I now can see no more.
Woodsworth.
Very good. You always had a mind for literature. It's such a shame you're entering the Shark Tank.
I like the law.
Heather pulls the curtain, looks through the stained glass windows into the neighborhood.
Quiet.
Christmas Eve.
No, I know, but just like so gray, still. Bungalows, right?
This whole area. Good houses. Your mother and I, before you were born, we used to buy old bungalows and flip them.
Seems like a lot of work.
Well, your mother and I, we didn't mind it. It's what convinced us to get married, really.
You were dating while flipping houses?
We were. I know. And there was this one. If you could believe it, we were the second owners of. Boy, it was something. Coal chamber on the side. Kitchen was full of roaches when we moved in. Old green and yellow print wallpaper. House immaculate. But the kitchen, roaches.
Gross.
Nowhere else in the house. It was so strange. It was like something out of Kafka. That's what your mother said. We're in a Kafka novel.
The wind hits the storm windows.
So many secrets.
Hank goes to the window, adjusts it a bit, looks out.
Just looking at them and you can't help but feel these ghosts inside all of them. Like they're the last survivors of a different time. And each one with a tree in front of on its own little plot. I mean, now they're all dead. It's winter. Like barnacles or skeletons. Waiting for their spring resurrection.
Please, Dad, you're depressing me.
I'm
So morose. What about my stuff?
There's boxes all upstairs. Everything's in there. It says Heather on it, all the stuff that's yours. I figured that room up there could be yours if you want it. I mean, I know you're in school now, but when you get back, if you come back, if you want to stay, we can reconnect or, well, not that you'd want. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say. I know you miss the old house, Heather.
It's not just the house.
You look good. Look a little thicker, which is nice.
Thicker?
I mean,
I'm sorry, did you just call me thicker?
I meant good that you put on some weight is all.
What?
No.
You're calling me fat?
I'm saying healthy.
Yeah, well, thanks, Dad. Can't wait for dinner now.
I don't know how to. The last 6 months have been a tremendous effort, Heather. More than you know.
Is that why you moved?
It's more complicated than that.
So uncomplicate it for me.
Yes, I know. You want to talk about everything, darling.
We didn't even know where you were for 6 months. I have a reason to be concerned.
I took some time off.
The school didn't even return my calls.
I took a sabbatical.
And then moved without telling anyone.
I sent you an email.
Well, I never got it.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I sent it. Wrong address, maybe.
Are you still even teaching? I mean,
After the break, I'll start again. Just a few classes.
for 6 months.
I was mourning, Heather. I've been figuring things out. Stop litigating.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. Please, for God's sake, not everything is a case that needs to be tried.
Well, maybe if everyone wasn't so secretive all the time, I wouldn't feel like I just don't know why you didn't feel you could call me, like on the phone.
I did, once. Went to voicemail.
And
I thought if you saw I called, that would be enough.
do you realize how ridiculous this all sounds? There are hundreds of ways.
Look, I'm not perfect. I'm a parent. I'm human.
Angela comes back down, stops midway down the stairs, unnoticed.
Maybe I thought you were ignoring me out of spite for what happened. You didn't speak with me at all for a whole year before your mother got sick, Heather.
Well, I felt betrayed.
Well, I felt betrayed too. Your mother was dying and you were nowhere to be. Look, school is important.
I was out of the country, Dad, okay, for school.
For the first month, honey. But look, it doesn't matter. You're here now.
Okay.
Heather,
I mean, can we talk about this?
what do you want to talk about?
I mean, are you seeing her again?
Oh, Heather, please.
I'm asking.
Heather, you don't know what you're talking about.
So that's a yes.
Heather, your mother and I were going through some things. It was before she got sick. There's no reason to even bring it up.
It's a legitimate question.
It's not a legitimate question. We've been through this already. Can we just, is this the whole night? Is this,
Dad, I have a right.
Is this indicative
okay?
of the whole night for us?
The master bedroom is beautiful. I love the stone. Has anyone checked on the oven? We should turn the meat.
Hank gets up.
I'll go check on it. Old oven's not so easy to navigate.
Hank exits.
They're legitimate questions. I have a right
I know,
to
sweetheart. You have to cool down.
I'm just asking questions. Why do we always have to fight? I'm trying.
I know, honey, but you know your father, and he's trying to. He likes things on his own terms.
But I have terms too. Why does everyone in this family make excuses for each other? Someone goes missing and then pops back up and everyone's just let it be so.
You're just like your mother.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Oh, you should. Yeah, both of you, piss and vinegar. I remember when she came home from college one summer after her internship at Connor and Juracy.
Sounds like one of those cheap TV law firms.
It was, but she didn't care. She was happy to have the work, prove herself. And she was like a bull in a china shop, pissed off everyone. And when I saw her just go at it with our parents, I thought, I want to be like her when I grow up. My big sister is such an asshole.
Ruthless.
Oh, God. She could have you on both sides of an argument, and before you knew it, you'd be wondering where you stood in the first place. I know it's hard.
How did she look?
How did she look?
Before she died. Dad barely spoke at the funeral. When I was on the plane back, I just thought, I don't even know what she looked like. What she said. Did she say anything? Did she have any last coherent words? Did she say she loved me? Did she look scared, relieved, surprised? I never got to say goodbye.
The doorbell rings.
Go. It's probably the carolers. You know, he needs you on his side right now. Go.
On her way to the kitchen, Heather changes a record. Angela answers the door. Sheila Lamb, an African-American woman, stands with her coat on, holding a purse.
Hello.
Hi, I'm looking for Mr. Redding.
Oh, sure. Hank. Oh, I like your blouse.
Hank comes out of the kitchen holding a kitchen rag as he approaches the door.
Hey there.
Angela goes into the kitchen.
Hey there.
Mr. Redding?
Dr. Redding, yes. Hi.
Actually, I'm sorry.
Hey, can you all turn that down for a... Sorry.
He turns down the record player, comes back to the door.
You the one that bought the house down the street? I moved in myself a couple of months ago.
I know. I tried to find you at your former address in Hyde Park. We actually didn't live too far from one another.
I'm sorry?
My name is Sheila Lamb.
Oh.
I'd really
Wow.
like to
Okay.
speak with you about
How did you get my information?
the university.
They gave you my home information? I'm sorry. Now just isn't a good... Yeah, no. Maybe if you left your number, we could... Why don't you leave me your number?
Sure.
She looks in her purse.
I don't have do you have a pen?
Yeah, sure. Hold on a second.
Hank gets a pen. Sheila stands motionless at the door. He comes back with a pen, hands it to her. She writes on the back of a business card.
Look, Dr. Redding.
Hank, please.
The sooner, the better, please.
Sure. Yes. Yeah, we should. It's a little crazy the next few, for the time ahead, but we should do this. Okay.
Okay.
Sheila walks off. Hank closes the door. Angela comes in, sets the table.
Who was that, Hank?
New neighbor.
Hell of a day to move in. You should have invited her in. You all right?
Fine.
So, look, Hank, I know now isn't a good time with the move, but have you given any consideration?
Not now, Angela.
All right. Look, let's be frank here. Lila didn't leave that much in her will. I mean, her medical expenses were, I can only imagine, exorbitant. But
They were outrageous, Angela. Part of the reason I had to sell the house. I don't really want to talk about this now, okay? I can't financially take care of you like Lila did. I really can't. I have too many bills now.
No, I understand.
Do you?
No, I just think it's what Lila would have wanted.
She would have wanted me to pay for your overexpensive apartment in New York.
I mean, it's a shithole. So, okay, let's not.
And your return rehab trips to Sedona?
Hank, no, come on.
Get a job.
I am trying, Hank.
Well, what about that executive assisting you used to do?
I need a website. This economy is terrible.
Well, that's not my fault.
Hank, I'm not.
You're asking for a handout.
A handout? That's the last thing I'm asking for. What I'm asking for is what my sister left to me.
Well, it was spent on her treatment. What do you want me to do? Sue the hospital because it didn't work?
She was my sister, Hank.
Well, she was my wife. Lottie fucking die. You want to give me a family tree about it?
She was my best friend.
All right, don't do that.
I'm doing.
No,
what
you're doing is reaching for my wallet. I took care of her, Angela. I was in that hospital so much it was like my house. Where were you?
Let's not talk about who was where and with whom, Hank. Okay? You and I both know.
Angela, please don't go there. I paid for you to come out here and just, let's not, okay?
You are acting so selfish.
Selfish? Who are you to lecture me about selfish? When was the last time I saw you, Ange? Huh? Absolutely not. I watched my wife waste away in there, and I was her only family in there, other than Heather a couple of times. And
I was in.
Yeah, I know where you were. You were getting clean. Good for you. Again, how's that whiskey tasting?
It's a holiday.
Oh, good. Good. Well, I'm glad you have that one justified properly. Will I be picking you up off the floor or the stairs tonight?
That was once, Hank. You are so unforgiving. One strike and you're out with you.
Angela, please. You're like a cat with 9 lives. You've come back from the dead so many times. I can't keep up.
I am trying.
You've been off and on that wagon so much. I'm sure they've got a seat for you when you're ready to come back.
I didn't want her to see me like that, Hank.
Well, she didn't see you at all.
Who have you become, Hank? You were never like this. I didn't want my sister's last vision of me to be sick. I am much better than I was.
I know. I've heard it all before. You see, I've heard it all. I know all the lines, Angela.
There's no need to be cruel.
I don't have any money, all right? I don't. It was spent.
Well, but there was too much of it.
Are you my financial advisor now?
From the kitchen.
Dad?
Yeah?
Hank heads to the kitchen.
Don't bring it up again. Please? Please.
Hank exits. Angela goes to a family portrait of Lila, Hank, and Heather. She runs her fingers across it. She pulls a cigarette out and goes to the front door. When she opens it, Sheila is standing there.
Oh, hi.
Hi, I'm sorry, but
Well, come in. It's freezing out there.
She lets her in.
may I use your phone real quick?
Of course, please. And help yourself to some food. We have plenty of it.
No, thank you.
Would you like something to drink? Oh, yeah, here's the phone, right here.
She hands her the phone.
Thank you.
No cell phone?
Dead. Hello? Can I get a cab here at 6044 North Maplewood? Sheila? Cross Street?
Peterson. I think.
Peterson.
Yeah, it's a Peterson. Haven't put your new line in yet?
Pardon? Yes, I'll be waiting. Thank you.
Sheila hands the phone back.
Thank you.
In New York, no one really has a landline anymore. It's all cell phones. Do you work at the university as well?
Oh, no, I'm a doctor,
Oh, what kind?
pediatrician.
How nice.
Yes.
So when did you move in?
Heather enters.
Hi,
Hi. To where?
This is Sheila.
Heather.
Hi.
To here, to the neighborhood.
Oh, no, I live in the South Side, over in Hyde Park.
Oh, Hyde Park. Oh, I thought Hank said you just moved into the area. That's where they used to live. Did you know each other?
Hank comes down the stairs, sees Sheila.
Hank, I thought you said she was a new neighbor.
I'm sorry, I just needed to use the phone. My cab didn't come.
What's going on here?
Nothing. I thought she was a neighbor.
I'll wait outside.
It's freezing out there, please.
Ah, I get it. Another one, right, Dad?
No, Heather, it's not.
Hank?
No.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean,
It's not.
so how long have you two been sleeping together?
Oh, Hank.
No.
Unfucking.
Heather, go upstairs
This
now.
is, of course, though, right?
Heather, honey.
You don't know what you're talking about, Heather.
I mean, who are you?
All right, let's all just.
Fucking ridiculous. Not even 6 months in her grave.
No, not here. We will deal with this like adults.
It's not what you think, Heather, please.
No wonder you wanted to sell the house. Just erase our lives.
Heather, calm down. We all deal with death in our own way. Hank.
Oh, great. I'll go fuck everyone in Cambridge then. You know what, Dad?
Sheila, I think.
No, it's like the moment I believe this could all go back to normal.
Heather grabs her coat and bag.
Heather, no.
Heather, I love you. Please don't do this. There's more here than I need to.
No, I lost Mom and now you. I may as well be an orphan.
You don't know what you're doing,
yeah,
Heather.
I do, actually.
She opens the door.
Heather, I killed somebody.
Your father murdered my son.
What?
What are you talking
What
about?
is she talking
I didn't
about?
murder.
No. What would you call it?
It was
I mean,
self-
what other word
It was self
for it? I
defense.
didn't.
Look,
I
this-
didn't come here
Mrs.
to
Lamb,
argue.
Sheila,
I don't want to
I
fight,
told you we
Mr.
can talk
Look,
about this, but not
I
not
just-
now, okay?
want
Hank.
I have some questions.
Wait.
Okay, civilly.
God damn it.
Killed someone. What?
Now, I don't know if you want everyone here, but
No, you're going to have
What
to
is
leave.
she
Oh
talking
my
about?
God,
You're kidding.
are you
She's
okay?
kidding.
I'm fine, okay?
What happened, Hank?
Why didn't you say anything?
It was the DA confirmed it was
Why
self-defense.
didn't
It was
we hear about this?
justifiable
This isn't on
homicide,
the
so there
news.
was no trial.
there was no trial, and
Yeah,
it didn't
was this
even make
on the news,
local
Hank? I mean,
news.
I am
If
just
they
floored.
covered the shooting of
Shooting?
every young black
What are you
man in
talking about?
Chicago, you'd need a separate broadcast.
No. All right, look, everyone, please.
What happened?
It was an
What the
accident.
fuck is going on?
Self-defense.
Oh
Did
my God,
my
Hank.
son have a gun?
What?
Did my son have
What?
No, look, Miss Lamb,
that
respectfully.
you can call
You
me
shot
Sheila.
No,
someone?
please don't.
You have a gun?
Yes, I have a gun.
What?
Had a gun. Please, everyone. I had a gun.
We don't
I
have
don't
guns.
have one anymore.
Sheila pulls out the police report.
It's all in the police report.
Hank goes and grabs the police report from her.
No, okay, please don't do that.
Heather grabs the police report.
Dad.
You don't get to make up the rules here.
Can I say something?
We make up rules
isn't happening.
because the rules we've got haven't done me any good.
Guys, this shouldn't happen here.
And with what my family has been through these past 6 months, it's amazing I'm still able to play the game at all. But I'm trying, and I'm here. Maybe if we sat, we could do this calmly.
Okay, you are not making us very calm.
Dr.
right now.
Redding, you need to help me make sense of this.
Heather reads from the report.
44 Magnum?
What is going on here? I feel like I'm
Why
dreaming.
do you have a gun?
I didn't even know we had guns.
Angela, please, can you shut up about the goddamn gun? Is this what you want? My whole family to turn on me?
Dad, she has a right to get answers.
You know as well as I do that this report is bogus. You shot my son in the back. How is that self-defense? It's not. It's murder.
Okay, what is this? You were not there.
And that is why I am here. I need justice for my son. I need accountability. So how do we arrive there? Do they leave? Do you and I go somewhere? You tell me. I can't leave until we are on the same page, all right? That's what is owed me. At least you need to fill that empty space for me. So maybe we should all just, everyone sit down and get to know each other.
Sheila sits.
Okay, maybe I should. Should I turn off the oven?
Okay. All right. Look, this is hard on everybody. I just lost my wife, her sister, her mother. And this has been a very trying time for everyone right now. And I think everyone is overreacting. So I am not prepared to do this right here, right now. Okay? On Christmas. We're all trying to cope.
It's exhausting chasing ghosts, isn't it?
If the police say your son ambushed him because that's what Hank said, then that's what happened. You think he was just sneaking around looking for someone to shoot?
Sheila pulls some paper out of another envelope.
When the toxicology report came back,
All right.
it said you had high levels of alcohol and fluoxetine in your blood.
Yep, I'm calling my lawyer.
He picks up the phone.
What? Prozac?
I had a drink earlier in the day.
You were drinking at 6
You're
a.m.?
calling him on Christmas Eve?
Goldberg?
Oh, so Prozac and alcohol. Okay. Okay.
And with your heart medication?
I had a Bloody Mary. My wife had just died the week before. I was depressed, so yes, I had a pill. I had a drink. I was alone. I was grieving. I still am. Is anyone concerned as to whether or not I'm okay here?
I asked.
Well, I'm not okay. Thanks for asking.
He slams down the phone.
It's busy.
Okay, guys. Sorry. Do you guys want me to turn off the oven? What are we doing here?
No one cares about the fucking oven.
It says here your blood alcohol level was 2.5 times over the legal limit. So why wasn't that a red flag for the police?
What do you know, a toxicologist? You have my whole medical history there? Where did you get all this?
Hank walks towards her.
I'm a doctor.
Dad.
Huh? What do you have there?
He grabs for it.
Excuse me?
Dad.
You got my whole life history there? Where the hell did you get all this?
Why don't you tell me about the relationship between you two?
What?
Relationship? What do you mean relationship?
He was my student, which I'm sure, I know you know.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Whoa.
We had gotten close.
Okay. No, this ends here.
Well, he really seemed to like you. So why don't you tell me how close you were?
We really shouldn't be doing this.
Get out.
Listen,
Get out.
I can't.
Why not?
Because you forced me here. He was your student.
Yes. Yes, he was my student. Kevin was. Jesus. Kevin was a freshman in my comp lit class, very bright, just an exceptional young man. He brought me pills sometimes, prescription pills that were hard to get.
Are you saying he was a drug dealer?
No, I'm not saying that. It was nothing like that.
What was it like?
I'm sorry. I just can't
Dad,
do this.
Please.
No, I think Hank's right. Let's just.
How did you get to
He
the
could
river?
incriminate himself, or I
That
don't.
morning. How did he get shot in the back?
We hear carols singing up on the housetop. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? The doorbell rings. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Heather opens the door and the choir grows louder. Up on the housetop, click, click, click.
Now's not a good time. Merry Christmas.
She closes the door. Down through the chimney with good Saint Nick. The doorbell rings. First comes the talking of little Nell. Heather opens the door again. Oh, dear Santa, fill it well.
We're pagans.
Angela slams it shut. We hear the beginning of Silent Night as they travel away. Heather reads from the police report.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. Sorry. Why weren't you arrested? Usually.
Heather, whose side are you on?
Heather, honey.
Arrested. I already told you it was self-defense.
Or because you're white.
What?
Heather, I think you should stay out of this.
What are you saying?
I mean, we're all thinking it, aren't we?
I
No.
certainly am not.
It was because of the nature of the incident.
The nature of the incident was that a white man killed a young black man. That's the incident.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Since it was brought up.
No, you're making this about race?
Well, I think it is about race. I mean, maybe not the thing itself, but the justice of the thing.
The officer interrogating you essentially gave you your testimony.
All right.
He fed it to you. He wanted to catch some other brown boy.
Okay,
so
these
he
are
just-
accusations. Hank is not
it's
some
in the
kind of
report.
racist
Just read
murderer.
the report for yourself and tell me, look, I didn't come here to debate racial bias of the police state. My son is not here to tell his side of the story. I just wanted to discuss the merits of the evidence that wasn't seen.
Evidence.
Whether or not
No, no, but there's
something is
evidence.
racist is
No,
not
this-
for me to decide.
But what do you think?
I think if the situations were reversed, my son would be in jail right now.
That
I
is
think
race
she's
baiting. That's a
absolutely
hate
right.
crime.
Okay, I
I
mean,
can't
this is
speculate to that.
insane.
All I know,
it's the truth.
it's speculation. And furthermore, with that argument, you end up trying the system, not the case. I mean, so what? I'm guilty because I'm white?
No, you're guilty because you killed my son. The system is guilty because you're white. The system failed here. All right?
There's too
you're
many
gonna try the
questions
system?
here.
She wants to put white people on trial here.
No, Mr. Redding, just you.
You're going from A to Z.
Why are you doing this?
I'm just
Listen,
trying to. I think we all want to understand what happened that morning. That's
You
all.
know, I didn't bring the race issue up, Mr. Redding. And to be quite frank, I just like to talk to you about the actual events of the morning.
We don't know what happened. We can't do this here. We don't know what happened.
You don't.
Exactly.
That's why I'm here.
And furthermore, it's highly inappropriate and illegal to be doing this. Heather, wouldn't the law agree?
I mean, we make the law.
All right. Well, most importantly, a decision has already been made.
The wrong one?
Heather!
Heather, you're not a lawyer. You're a student. She's a student. I don't know why you're doing this to this family. We've been through enough.
I'm trying to understand this because it seems like he's not telling us something.
Oh, is that so? And tell me what you think that is.
Dad, you killed somebody. Black or white, it doesn't matter. This is the first either of us are hearing about it. It's not your fault the system favors you. If there's more
Are
evidence.
you even listening to what you're saying? They could lock me up. They could put me away forever. Is that what you want? Think about what you're saying, Heather. I'm putting together my life again and make up for, this is irresponsible.
The law is irresponsible.
The law has spoken.
The law
I can't
has
believe
not
this.
spoken. This woman lost her son. I'm sorry, but this is a pretty big fucking deal here. If you were killed, wouldn't you want me to get to the bottom of it?
Not like this.
Okay. I don't know you.
That's quite clear, Heather. You don't know what
Heather,
you're
you're
saying,
out of
Heather.
line here. And all I know.
All you know is that you get to spend Christmas with your family while my husband and I don't. When the victim is dead, society must take its place.
So hold a fucking rally.
Aunt Angie, this is what the courts are for.
I'm not going to court
Why not?
because I have no reason to. I don't.
Okay.
Dad, what are you hiding?
Everyone wants to be the victim, right?
Excuse me.
I think we're all victims here, okay?
Jesus.
You're making this about something else. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. What else is this about?
Aunt Angie, please.
What else is this about?
She's making it about something else. No. Maybe if you ever think it's the parents.
Do you know me?
Oh, I have a pretty good idea.
No,
Oh,
Angela,
do
no.
you? And who am I?
She's making this
No,
about
no,
something it's
no.
not, okay?
Who
You're one
am
of those
I?
women that uses race, okay? That uses race as a weapon to build the system, okay? That's what I think, to exploit this guilt and...
Wow. And I wasn't even the one who brought up race in the first fucking place.
Yeah. It's all blame white America with you people.
You people?
Okay.
I mean, it's helpful to financially even to romanticize these
Wow.
things.
Angela,
Stop.
you're really
Wow.
making this
Talk to
not helping.
me about you people again.
Guys, hit me.
Angela,
I will slap a lawsuit on your ass so quick.
Stop it.
Yeah. Come on. Look into my eyes. Tell me you know me. You feel the rage behind these eyes. You see the ghosts I carry in these eyes. You see the weakness in these eyes. I will snatch your ass. I got nothing to lose. So you go ahead and make a move, and I will be right there with you. I am right on the breaking point, so I dare you to tip me. Right. Let me tell you something, you people, you bitch. If I was you people, I would not have to be standing here right now. I don't have that privilege.
Hey, let's just...
Sheila steps away, goes to her purse.
You will not dress me down in my own house.
Heather leads Angela to the couch.
Okay, this isn't your house.
I
Let's
am
just
trying.
sit down for a sec.
To save my son here.
Yeah, I bet you are. You want justice with a dollar sign.
I want the facts before a jury to honor my son.
and you shouldn't be here. Read the report.
I did. It's coerced. I'm telling you to read the report. This is not what happened that day. You telling me that an honor student just comes out of nowhere on the 4th of July and kills his teacher for a bad grade? Is that what you're telling me? We still have no idea what happened that morning.
Were you there? Were you there?
He wasn't with other kids. He wasn't fighting you.
Oh, so you were there.
Tell me what this is.
Sheila pulls out a piece of paper from the manila envelope. Hank grabs it.
Where did you get this?
What is it?
It's a will.
Whose?
Your father's.
His will?
It was sent anonymously in the mail.
Why does she have your will?
I have no idea, Heather, but it's not my will. My will is with our family lawyer.
Well, then let me read it.
No, get it out of here. We're done here.
Don't you think you've caused enough problems?
Get it out, I said.
She's only trying to be heard.
You want money from me? Here, I'll give you some more.
He goes to get his checkbook in one of the drawers.
Dad.
More?
Name your price.
So
What
it
do you mean
was
more?
you.
What?
Your checks in the mail.
What?
What checks?
I wrote some checks.
A settlement?
It was some money.
This is not a settlement. I didn't ask for this.
For how much?
That's illegal,
It
Dad.
was
I
a gesture
didn't
of
cash the
it
checks.
was a gesture of everything was so crazy.
How much was it for?
You should have cashed them. Why didn't you cash them?
It was $500,000.
Look.
$500,000?
Why would you do that?
I didn't know what else to do.
That's my money.
That's our money.
No, that's my money. That's Lila's money that she left to me.
You're more than welcome to it.
That's in her will.
That's my money too.
Why didn't you cash the check?
Because I don't want your money.
You could be thrown in jail for just that
But that's
alone.
free money. That's
$500
apology
million,
money.
Hank.
I can't believe I'm hearing this.
You can't put a price on my son's
Do you,
life.
do you want more? Could this be settled with more?
More.
Are you kidding me?
Well, you would rather buy me off than to
Another 100,000.
Well, I see we're just giving money away today.
No, I need that check. Hank, you have no right, Hank. You have no right to do that. I could sue you for that money. That is my money. Legally entitled to. I am legally entitled to it. You can't. You were attacked and you defended yourself, and the system that is supposed to judge these things judged that you were in your rights. Don't let the guilt of that just drive you to make foolish decisions. Don't let her threaten you.
I'm not threatening anybody, woman.
That's why you sold the house. You needed the money.
It's for her. It's the very least I could do, for Christ's sakes.
No, you have no right to do that. That is not yours. I'm sorry, that money is mine. Sheila, I'm sorry what happened to your son, but that money doesn't belong to you.
Auntie!
Well, I don't want it.
Heather, you really need to stay out of this.
You people are amazing.
I want that money, Hank. What do I have to do? Have you have to shoot someone to get it? That was really uncalled for. I'm sorry, okay? I just need to. I'm gonna get some air, have a cigarette.
Angela exits.
I think we should call it an evening. I think it's time we ended this. Anything further, lawyers can handle, okay? I'm done.
Well, I'd still like to see the paper.
Not this fucking will again.
Dad, please. She came all this way. Don't you think it's at least important to know what's on there?
Heather, I don't understand you. Why are you doing this?
Because I want to know the truth.
You don't believe your own father?
It's not that I don't believe you, Dad, but she's pretty confident that paper is important. I don't know why you're so against it. We're talking about the murder of a child here.
Because it's the principle, Heather. She just comes in here and you've gone along with the whole thing.
You're acting unfair.
Heather, a family is supposed to stick together.
Wow. I'm getting the lecture on family sticking together from you. Okay.
Just who do you think you are, huh? You think your pedigree makes you so high and mighty? Do you know how much we had to sacrifice for you?
Me? What about you?
I cannot lose my whole career now, Heather. I'm at the top of my field. I can't go through all this. I've been through enough. I don't have the capacity for this.
I think everyone's entitled to the same rights as you have.
I agree. I'm not taking anyone's rights away. She has the same rights. A terrible thing happened. The DA let it go. I wish you would too.
I want to make this right for her.
And what about for me? How quickly you can just abandon everything that's come. Everyone that's come before you. Is that how you treat the world? Disposable? Now, it's very nice when you need me for financial support or a shoulder to cry on, but when it's our turn...
A shoulder to cry on? This is the first time I've seen you in 6 months, Dad.
Well, as you can see, I've had a lot on my mind. I can't believe you.
But
I
you
really
put it on
can't.
me, and before that, we barely spoke, so I don't know where you get off with this all, okay? It's not like we were best friends or something, and now all of a sudden I have this...
I was trying to give you everything, Heather.
I didn't ask for everything!
Okay. So you're standing there like a prosecutor against your own father, Heather, now. I see. It's betrayal. You're on the wrong side here, Heather.
I'm not on anyone's side. I'm on the side of truth.
There's only one truth here, Heather.
And what's that?
If you read that, Heather, you are destroying what's left of this family tonight.
Hank goes to the kitchen. Sheila hands Heather the paper. Heather holds it.
I can't.
You have to.
Sheila holds Heather's hand in hers.
If you were in my position.
Heather puts her hand on Sheila's. Heather looks at the paper in her hand for a moment and goes upstairs. Sheila is alone. The record skips and we hear Bing Crosby's White Christmas. Sheila goes to the Christmas tree, touches the needles and tinsel. She goes to a stack of boxes in the corner of the living room marked living on them. She takes out a brown-skinned angel from the box and goes over to the tree, placing it on top. She takes in the tree. Harvey, African-American, comes through the door laughing with Kevin, early 20s, holding groceries.
She said, Harvey, you keep talking through the mask. Santa won't come to your house this year. Uh-oh. So everyone around me is dead silent. And I go, oh, no. And remember, I'm 6'7" something, right? I don't want to be at no midnight mass. Right. So I go, Santa won't be coming to my house anyway. She goes, and why not? And why not? Oh, man. I say, unless Santa is a cop, white people don't come around here where I live. You did not. And the whole church starts cracking up. I mean, even then I was causing trouble. Not where I live. Oh, man. That was ages
That is hilarious. Mom, you heard the story?
Kevin, why don't you take all this in the kitchen?
Kevin takes all the grocery bags into the kitchen.
The traffic lights are all down 49th. We knocked everything out.
Wish they would knock out all those reporters and their damn cameras and lights.
Seems to have thinned out there.
Some Channel 7 guy popped his head in the window, started taking pictures. What do you think they were doing? Going to find in here? What would they're going to print?
They're just vultures.
She goes to the window, opens the curtain, bangs on the window.
You.
Sheila.
Get off. And get the hell off my property.
All right, come on.
I'll call the police.
Harvey moves her away from the window.
There's a cop car out there already.
It's a show.
Come on.
Whole fucking thing became a show. Kevin Lamb this, Kevin Lamb that. Black kid shoots a white professor this. Black student murders white man that. I can't take it anymore. He shot a white man.
Baby.
In the back.
Sweetheart.
In the back.
Shit.
They are never going to believe that this was an accident, like he claimed.
Can't we just...
I don't know how you are calm about it. We're moving out of our house, Harvey. They got us on the run. We're pariahs. We are.
We don't have to move then.
Fine. We will stay here and let them have at us. Make this a slaughterhouse for the media.
Calm down.
I am calm.
Oh, baby doll, you have got to ease up. Kevin was just arraigned.
Ease up.
We just got our son back yesterday. It's Christmas. Enjoy. Look at me. Enjoy the moment. Be present.
This is fucking shit.
She goes over to the bar.
Past 6 months, lost 12 patients to other doctors. People looking at me like I've done something wrong. Look at me. I'm a fucking mess. I'm just like, do you know how, what happened? Do you know my son? Do you know me, my family? Like I raised a killer. All of a sudden, I am the mother of a killer. And then the other parents, the ones who stayed with me, afraid to ask me about it, on their tiptoes about it. But I see it in their eyes, how much it takes for them to act normal around me. So from them not to look at me like I did something wrong, the silence in that room, they're thick. You think I'd killed a white man? And I look at those kids, so new, so full of life. I look in their eyes and I think, which one of you could be a killer one day? What wrong turn will your mother or father make? What wrong turn will you make one day that could just change everything? One choice, a whole other outcome.
It's not like that.
Oh, but it is. 1 minute in our lives, one split second, and everything just changes and can't ever go back. I worked so hard. And for what? Some tragedy to come out of nowhere and fuck it all up. Fuck it all to hell. I'm losing my life here. I'm losing my son.
He's my son too.
Well, then act like it.
Excuse me.
Trotting around here like it's all hunky-dory.
Are you out of your goddamn mind,
Living
Sheila?
in some la-la land. Like it's all gonna come out fine. That's gonna fuck him up.
What are you talking about? I've been right there with you, side by side, with the lawyers, everybody. So don't even think. You think this is easy for me?
Like it's a
watching our son get persecuted like this? He's my son too, Sheila. You know why? Because this isn't about me. Yeah, that's right. You're making this whole thing about you.
Are you crazy?
Are you? How it's affecting my patient, my job, my life. You haven't once hugged our sons since we bailed him out. You haven't once said, I love you. Nothing.
Kevin, get out here.
What are you doing?
Kevin walks out from the kitchen. Sheila grabs him and hugs him.
I love you. Now get back in the kitchen. Happy?
What's going on?
Your mother is just,
Your father thinks it's a good idea to lie to you.
Lie to him?
Yes, that's right, lie. Give you the false impression
Sheila, this
that
is...
regardless of the trial and the bond and upending our lives, that we need to pretend like it's all okay. That we gonna be fine.
Is this what you want? Bring him out of one prison and into another prison?
Cannot.
No, hold on, Kevin. Sheila, is it? Is this what we're fighting for? Look at yourself.
But Emma.
No, just shut up for a second. Is this what we're fighting for? Your son, who claims innocence, is being persecuted by his own mother. Kevin, did you kill that man?
No.
So what's left, Sheila? Your pride, your reputation. Stop it. Stop it.
Sheila exits into the kitchen. Sheila comes back out with a turkey and puts it on the table. Harvey, taking a cue, goes into the kitchen, comes back out with a bowl of potatoes, puts it on the table. Kevin goes in the kitchen, comes out with a bowl of peas, puts it on the table. They all sit down. Sheila gets back up, goes to the kitchen, brings out a Brita pitcher of water. She sits down, holds out her hands. Harvey and Kevin aren't sure what to do, as they've all never done grace before. They all hold hands. A moment of silence. Sheila opens her eyes, releases her hands, and begins to eat. They eat. Then,
I'm sorry for all this. Everything's just happening so fast.
We don't have to talk about this now.
Right. Russell was telling me today maybe that they do a plea bargain.
A what?
Kevin, Sheila, guys, please, just let's have a meal without all of this. Nothing will be resolved right now. Tonight. This doesn't have to happen right now.
Wait, hold on. What's Russell telling you about a plea bargain?
I'm not changing my plea.
Well, you better not be taking any plea bargain. Harvey's cousin Benny took one and they never let him out. 10 years turned into life. They just kept finding reasons to keep him in there.
Kevin is not Benny.
Benny was not Benny. They turned him into something else. Once you get in there, unless you Nelson Mandela, you got to have a thick skin or they will turn you. And you ain't no Nelson Mandela.
All right, you're already going to point X before we've even gotten to B.
We are close to X, Harvey.
Look, all he said was that we might consider changing the plea because of the evidence.
Your fingerprints were on the gun.
Because I was struggling with it, I told you.
Why? Because he was trying to kill himself, right?
Yes, I told you.
Then how does he get shot in the back?
Because of the position we were in. I was trying to get leverage to get the gun out of his hand. Everything was happening so fast.
Sheila, guys,
There's more to this story, Kevin. You're not telling us things don't add up.
Leave the case to the courts and leave family to the house.
Being in a part of town you should never be in anyway. How did you know he was there in the first place, Kevin?
Why are you talking to me like I'm guilty? You think I'm guilty?
I honestly don't know what to think. Why were you there? Why was there a gun involved? Why a lot of things, Kevin? I mean, there's a lot of questions here.
Well, there it is then.
There it is. I warned you about hanging out with those kids over in person.
Dante's my cousin.
Well, he's no good, Kevin. He's hood.
He ain't hood.
His whole family's hood.
That's my sister's family, Sheila.
Why are we always competing against them?
Because they're poor.
That is not it.
That is it.
No.
It is. Ever since we were married, you looked down on them. You never wanted Kevin to play with Celine's kids.
That is crazy.
Sheila, how many times have we gone over there and you tell me right before we go in, we only stand for an hour? You even told me you thought they were too ghetto for us. Your words, not mine.
Too ghetto.
Harvey, I love you, okay? I married you, not your whole family.
Dante had nothing to do with this.
Ha!
That's true.
So
they have different values, okay?
So now you blaming my family for all of this.
No.
You are, Mom.
I'm saying that
just because I was hanging out with Dante and his friends doesn't mean that I'm some ratchet banger.
I never said that. What I'm saying, if everyone would stop jumping on my back, is that our families, okay, they have different values. That is all.
And what are those values?
Kevin, we found drugs in your bag. Your grades started slipping. Okay?
Okay, but
what are our values? I don't think we ever, written them down. So what are they? Should I get a pen?
You real funny.
You think so?
Hilarious. Let's get you booked on to Showtime at the Apollo.
The drugs weren't even mine. They were Dante's.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
You think we were born yesterday?
I think you might be.
We can survive this.
I mean, this is all crazy. I just can't believe this is happening. It seems so surreal. I want to go back to normal life. Before all of this happened.
We can't.
We can't. We can't. It's who we are now, huh?
For now.
For a while.
It's turning everyone crazy. And I'm just like, I was the only one who was there and nobody knows what happened except for me. All right? Me. And all of a sudden my just who I am is being questioned. Now, I'm not saying that makes what happened any better, but I mean, it's still me. I'm still me. I am. And you want me to plead not guilty to a crime you think I committed. And you want me to plead guilty even though you think I didn't do it. I mean, this is crazy. I plead not guilty because I didn't do shit here. I'm holding on to that. There's not enough evidence to convict me. There's not.
Son, there is. They are charging you with first-degree felony murder, fleeing and obstructing justice, and possession and delivery of prescription narcotics and disorderly conduct just because they can. You think they just made that up?
Let me tell you something,
okay,
Kevin.
When you say it like that, it makes it sound much more worse than it really is.
Well, what's a better way to say it?
I don't know, but the jury is going to see the truth. My friends believe me. Why can't you? I can't believe you guys.
Well, I believe we paid $500,000 to get your ass out on bail. So believe that.
Son.
Believe that.
Nah, that's real good.
Okay. So thank you.
Treat me like a convict already. That's real good. The jury's not going to be this stupid.
Stupid? And what makes you think you get a pass? Talking about stupid.
Mom.
Talking about how you think you got it all locked down, the perception of the jury.
You think I'm a killer?
To them, you are, son. Just another blackface that killed a white man on TV.
He was my professor. My friend. He was a mentor. I mean, that should mean something.
I mean,
come on. I go to the University of Chicago. You're a doctor. Dad's a chemist. You act like...
I act like what, huh? You think they'll be looking at our jobs, our class, where we buy our groceries?
I think they'll have to.
Oh, you are out of your mind.
I am? You saying that they're racists?
Oh. just get here. What country you living in, huh?
This one.
Oh, can I come too? Cause
You don't know what you're talking about.
Look, we haven't even been to trial yet. There's a lot we know and a lot we don't know.
I know.
Yeah, we know you know, Sheila. Whole neighborhood knows how much you know. And why don't we just open the windows so ABC7 can get a good listen to all of this?
If you think he's so innocent, Harvey, why you want him to take a plea?
I never said that.
No, you asked what?
Don't you turn this into...
You do want me to take a plea. You were asking about it.
No! Kevin, Sheila, Kevin's not even back a full 24 hours and you dig into him with all this. I told you.
He could go to prison for life.
Not right now, he ain't. He's standing right here, and you got this whole house upside down.
I want to know what happened with Russell.
And I said, can it? One night.
You are light, Harvey.
Excuse me?
You are so light. And that's part of the reason we're in this mess.
Are you questioning my effectiveness as a parent? As a father? Because let me tell you something. You are one of the most overbearing women I have ever met.
Really? Well, it's only to make up for the deficiency in your lack of discipline, Harvey. Live and let live with you is all the time.
You do not want to go here, Sheila.
Because you know I'm right.
Don't dig into my parenting.
You know I'm right.
This is your mother, Kevin. Yeah, Sheila, go on and be right then.
Harvey.
No, go on and be right about every goddamn thing because your reputation is obviously way more important to you than spending time with your son, your only child.
Kevin runs upstairs.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. You happy now? Yup. That good old tough love. Like mother, like daughter. Keep laying it on thick. Real glad I'm going through this with you.
I just want my life back.
Yup.
Harvey goes upstairs.
Our lives back, Harvey. Our lives back.
Sheila looks at the dinner table. In an instant, she grabs a plate, smashes it. She goes into the kitchen. Kevin comes down the stairs with his jacket. Harvey follows after him.
Kevin.
Kevin stops.
Where do you think you're going?
Out.
Kevin.
What, I'm supposed to stay here? I'll go to Nahisi's.
No, listen to me. Stop. There are monsters out there, Kevin. If the cameras don't shoot you, some crazy ass with a gun will.
Harvey stands between the door and his house. Kevin takes off his jacket, throws it on the couch.
Fuck.
He sits on the couch.
You got to talk to me, son.
I thought you were on my side.
Son, I am on your side, but you are going to have to open up about all of this.
Kevin stands, paces.
We're trying to stay strong for you, Kevin, for us. But this is hard. They're talking evidence that could put you away for a long, long time. What? Kevin, you can tell me. Talk to me. Please.
You promise you just listen though, okay? I can't. Just please listen.
Okay.
Fuck. Okay, all right. So Professor Redden and I, we got close. I'd gone over to his place a couple times. We'd talk about class and books, stuff like that. And his wife is really sick. I mean, like upstairs in the hospice sick.
The doorbell rings. Harvey looks through the peephole.
Nobody. Okay, I'm listening.
Harvey?
Sheila comes out from the kitchen.
Kevin, go upstairs. Harvey, the back door.
Sheila.
You should take this.
Jesus. Okay.
Harvey
Kevin?
goes into the kitchen.
Now.
No.
Kevin, let me tell you something. I am doing my best job to protect you, but if I have to kill you to keep you safe, I most certainly will. Now get your ass upstairs.
Heather walks out of the kitchen. Harvey follows from behind. They all stand. Heather and Kevin lock eyes. Kevin is about to say something, then goes upstairs. Harvey offers Heather a seat. She pulls the sleeves of her hoodie down, covering her hands, and hides from the cold, standing.
There were so many people in front. I went through the alley and climbed over the fences. I've been in your yard for the last hour. I wasn't sure if I was going to come in or... God, it's so cold out. I feel like every winter it's getting so much colder, but this one's just like extremely.
Do your lawyers know you're here?
No.
They will. You got a lot of nerve coming here.
Sheila goes to the phone.
Sheila,
Please don't call. I don't want that.
Sheila, please, wait. Please, sit down, Heather. Have a seat. I'm sorry about your father and your mother.
Thank you. Look, I understand my being here this is really hard for me. I came here to talk to Kevin.
You can't do that.
No, I know.
That is not happening.
Anything you need to say, it's going to have to be rendered through attorneys. This has been a very trying time for everyone, but you're welcome to stay here and eat with us.
No, that's...
We're sorry for your loss.
You already said that.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
Look. Wow, that's the first time I've had 6 months. It's been go, go, go. I've just been taking care of everything with all this. I don't think I ever took a second to... Sorry, my father died within a week of my mother, so it's just been a lot. I'm here. That's not for you. Anyway, I don't know. I'm so confused, but so I'm going through my dad's desk, just getting things together to sell the house, and I found this will, and it was dated the day of his death. I mean, it wasn't filed with our family lawyer, but it has Kevin's name in it. So I had some questions. If I want this to be outside the courts.
Nothing's outside the courts.
You are not the law.
I'm not.
You know you can throw the whole trial by being here.
Heather takes out the paper.
Yes, I'm...
Kevin comes downstairs.
No. Get back up there.
You're not going to incriminate yourself, Kevin.
Heather pulls out the will.
How well did you know my father?
No, Kevin. Why?
You can't just do this vigilante justice in here. I'm sorry, but you are not the law.
Hank enters. Lights shift.
He left you in his will, and leaving you things, and I just...
Yeah, okay. Let's just...
Heather reads from the will.
And for helping me take care of outstanding circumstances. I thought about it for a long time, and...
Angela enters. Lights shift.
Heather, please.
And I'm reading this and thinking, why would my dad leave a student anything in his will? What are outstanding circumstances? What is all this?
Kevin, upstairs.
Kevin, now.
Heather turns to Hank.
You had him help you kill Mom.
No, Heather, he just wanted my help. Said she was going to die soon.
What?
I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
You killed my sister?
No, I didn't.
I thought she was getting better.
She was dying.
She was done. Her body was finished. Her soul, it was trapped in there. You could see it in her eyes, pleading to be released. It was quick, in her sleep. Even in her sleep, the expression on her face was so much pain. I put the pillow over her head, and I thought about if it were me. He was on the other side of the door. It smelled like medical equipment in there, bleach, baby food, Gatorade. And all the sound went out of the room. It felt like the air and just like space close in around us, just me and her, this aura, and I held the pillow in and put it on her face and then just let it go and rest on it. Body jerked a little. She was too weak. I think it was just the body reacting, but her mind was ready. I mean, I couldn't take the pillow off. I stood there and I prayed to God. I just prayed.
Oh my God.
Then he went missing after a week. No one knew but I knew where he went in the mornings at sunrise, 6 a.m. on the bike trail over by the river.
So I went to the river.
And when I got there, he was drunk, singing to himself.
Shall we gather at the river where bright angel feet have trod, with its crystal tide forever flowing by the throne of God?
Hey.
A lot of fish in there, all headed that way. South. South. Look at this out here. So clear, crisp. Air so sharp it cuts you. Sunlight so pure it lifts you. Sky so vast it carries you. Get out of here, Kevin.
It's freezing out here, man. Let's get something to eat. People are worried about you.
Go, live your life, but I'm done.
What are you talking about? Come on.
Hank takes out a gun.
Whoa, hey, what are you doing?
Hank spins the chamber on his gun.
I killed my wife. You killed my wife. We killed my life. Was the quality of that mercy strained, or did it come easy to you? Me. I don't. What kind of gods do we think we are?
I hate you for asking me to do it, and I hate myself that I did it, but I understand it. So let's put this down, okay? We don't need this. Let's talk this through.
You should go now, Kevin.
Let's go together. Come on.
Hank swigs from a bottle.
What am I supposed to say? I don't know how to do this. Please, put it down, please. Why don't you put it down, man? Please. I just don't understand.
The thing about dying is that when you're dead, people define your legacy for you. You could have been a shit person, but people, they're not mourning for you. They're mourning for themselves. They're mourning their own loss. And they need to define your legacy for themselves, to keep that story with them, for them. And most of the time, if you're lucky, they'll spin a beautiful tale about you, better than who you actually were. Now, how much is that worth when you leave that to someone? Better than who I am now, for my sakes, anyway.
Hank swigs.
Need to absolve myself, make things better. I need freedom.
You got a daughter, man. You got an opportunity to do right by your family. You have students who love you. I love you.
I'm dying. I am dying. I won't go through what Lila went through. It's too painful. The universe has pulled the rug out from under me.
Police sirens are heard in the distance.
Did you call the police?
No, I wasn't even sure you'd be here.
Hank drunkenly points the gun at himself.
Go. I mean it. Go fall in love. Go find pain. Go find peace. Go live your life. Please stop telling me how to live mine.
I have to live with this too. This isn't fair.
Well, there's no fair here. Life isn't fucking fair, Kevin.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Hank walks towards Kevin.
You think I wanted my wife dead? Did you see her, for God's sake? You think there was any saving her?
I came here to save you.
You
man.
came here to save yourself.
You're fucked up. You don't know what you're saying.
Really?
He points the gun at him.
Really? You're gonna shoot me? I hear you.
Hank clicks the safety.
You fucking pussy.
Suddenly, Hank fires the gun. It is startlingly loud, shocks them both. Birds are heard flying off in the distance. Both are surprised.
It's my life. It's my death too if I want it. Mine. Me. Me. Fucking me.
Kevin lunges for the gun. They struggle with it.
Stop it.
They struggle. Kevin punches Hank awkwardly in the face a couple of times as they remain tightly bound to each other in a struggle, switching around, trying to get leverage from behind each other. The gun is released to the person in the back, and in a mess of body, arms, and hands, and gun until The gun goes off. They stand there, almost frozen.
Come on.
I was trying to make it right.
I thought I was helping.
I can't.
Then what?
Everything around went dark for a split second. All I could see was us, frozen, holding each other. In that moment, locked in time, in space, like a portrait, a final image. Us in front of that river, running water, chatting over the rocks, gold and cream glitter dancing on water like sharp angels on glass, waiting for just any moment that in a heartbeat would just shatter and bleed, staining the water with its holy blood.
For my sins. Mine.
Was he dead when you left?
Oh, don't, I don't want to know. Don't say.
He was gasping for air, like a fish. His eyes were wide open. He kept saying,
Wow. Wow. Wow.
That's when I ran. And
the police were already there. His face looked so small, still, pure. I loved him like a son.
My poor baby. My poor baby. Oh, God. My boy. My God. Kevin, Lord. Oh, my Lord. Kevin, oh, my God. Kevin, please, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. God.
I don't know what to say.
he's a part of me now.
Trying to find meaning in it all.
Come here, son.
Anything.
Daddy.
And these are things that happen.
Carolers are heard in the distance.
What am I supposed to do with that? What do we do with that?
We watch both families as the carolers outside sing Coventry Carol. The carolers trail away. Both families rest for a moment. Black, the end.
Words I have to weed through for you. Broken thoughts I forgot. I still feel caught. Cooler than yours. Light we stare, look at what we both wear. From the ground up, tangled in such bright trees, dark leaves we claim to know their names. March on, will we? Make art, will we? Drop out, sing loud, hold loud. We will always be.
This is probably one of our most serious plays that we've had this season. And I've been very excited for this play for almost a year now. Michelle Bossy sent it to me, and I thought it was just so, it resonated at the time. I thought it was a very current piece. I didn't know that you had written it. At that time, I didn't know you had written it in 2012. So I guess my first question is, because we already know the inspiration behind this play was this story that never really made headlines. But how have your thoughts about this play and the issue that you're illuminating changed since 2012 till now? Because the world is different, but it's also the same.
Well, right. I mean, the veil has been lifted.
Yes.
So in some ways, you know, is this play, there's a better version of this play that can be written now. I mean, certainly, you know, to revisit an old play just generally is really interesting, but this play in particular, I go, what is the relevance of this play now? Yeah. And there's a better, you know, how do we tell this story better? And I think that is a question that I'm asking, you know, especially hearing it, I go, oh yeah, what's the better version of this for 2018? Yeah. Or is this now a document that's a historical record from a particular time when, you know, the nation and largely a particular class of people and white people are a part of that just kind of went, you know, went about their lives. There's an intersectionality now that's much different.
Right.
There's a connection and things are being plugged in. And like I was saying before, white supremacy now has a platform, and Black Lives Matter is a thing now, and Me Too and the Fight for 15 and all these issues now are intersecting in a way that are so related because it's all about power. So this play plays a different role in that conversation today than it did then. And its effectiveness as a tool for engagement, I think, should be looked at in a new way based on kind of where we are today. So as I listen to it, I certainly, think of that.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested in how you really came up with the name Kevin Lamb. It's the character. It's our protagonist in a way. I feel like there are many. I feel like Sheila, she tends to have more screen time, quote unquote. But it's, the whole play is centered around Kevin Lamb in some way, shape, or form. And I am a pastor's kid, so I know about the lamb. Lambs are important as fuck in the Bible.
They are.
Yeah, they are. So I don't know if anyone knows this about the lamb, but the lamb represents Christ. He's the victor and the sufferer, and it also, of course, symbolizes gentleness and innocence. And so I was rereading this a few weeks ago after going to my mom's church service.
What kind of church?
Pentecostalist. Whew. And I live
Snake
above her
handlers.
church. So
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
intense.
She speaks in tongue and everything.
Oh,
and
wow.
So,
That's
yeah,
legit.
and I get yelled at a lot.
Sure.
As
In
part
tongue?
of prayer. In tongue as well.
That's
yeah.
fucked up.
I don't know what she's saying.
No, she does though.
Yeah, she
Or
does.
maybe she doesn't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was rereading this. My mom gave this sermon about the lamb and the sacrifice, and I was like, oh, okay, so Kevin Lamb gets sacrificed in this first part of the play because we've heard that he's been murdered, and he's supposedly this gentle, innocent spirit who's been murdered, and then in the second part, quote unquote, he's sacrificed in a different way. He's like the sacrificial lamb, quote unquote, because he's already been condemned and is already guilty, and he probably didn't do it, or he says, or we find out that it just was him trying to save Hank's life instead. So did the name Kevin Lamb, was that actually something you were going for? One, because I don't want to be that English teacher that tries to make things, I may have looked too deep into it, but you just confirmed it. So
no,
great.
That's it.
Did his name come first, or did it come from the story?
Well, first, the protagonist is Sheila because she's the one that needs the answer. I mean, she's the one that's driving the action of the play.
Oh, do you not think?
But Kevin is the specter hanging over it, and he's because it's not just in terms of like the hero's journey. He's not the one we're following, but he's certainly the we need to solve for Kevin. He's the problem we need to solve. What happened? He's the dramatic question.
Right.
And so I've taken the dramatic question and made that the title of the play because I want that's the thing we're here to figure out. What did he do? What didn't he do? What was he a part of? But in terms of the lamb and the sacrifice, yeah, I mean, that is the martyr of America is the Black man and the Black woman taken from another continent and brought here. And this nation was built on brown skin. So that martyrdom is part of that experience. And so Kevin Lamb is representative of that in my eyes. I mean, that's where that comes from.
So I just find that fascinating that you say that. Do you think that that's something that, like white evangelicals, white religious zealots, do you think that's something that they understand or like even care about at this point?
I don't.
Right?
I don't. Not today.
Yeah.
At one point, maybe. At one point, maybe that conversation was more open, but I don't think so now.
When was that point?
Well, evangelicals used to vote Democrat, and during Jimmy Carter's presidency, though the conservative movement was actually different, and to be conservative didn't necessarily mean you voted Republican. And so I think that once Reagan came into power and made a deal with the devil, pun intended, I suppose, that changed the tribalism of politics and race baiting and all that, which had always been there. Like suddenly those Dixiecrats who had become Republicans in the 80s and how that became evangelized changed the nation. So I think that when, I mean, but it didn't happen then. It's been happening for, I mean, it's the blood that, watered the seeds of this country.
Right.
So, but I think it changed then. And I think that marriage of, the Republican Party and evangelical Christians, they were very smart what they did. They were very savvy, and it's led us to today. I mean, there's a very clear arc from there to now. So do I think they know that? No, I don't think they can hear it. I think there's a different worldview. I still think there's a common ground, a lot of common ground for conversation. Absolutely. I think once we shut that off, we're done. Democracy's over. But I think that it's going to take a lot of work for them to understand the pain that was never reparated, and the phantoms of racism and slavery, institutionalized, overt and covert, still exist, and that is part of the issue today.
Right. You right. And Kevin Lamb, the system is guilty because it's white, and I think that's it's incredibly spot on. It's just something that's so still like not obvious or incredibly obvious, and so many people want to ignore that, much like Angela does.
It's obvious.
Yeah.
There are people running on neo-Nazi platforms in Illinois and around the country. It is obvious. They are saying it outright now.
Right.
There's no more this doesn't, it's so obvious that it has been embraced, politicized, and it's being run on as a platform. White power is a platform now. Like before it was kind of like,
a little covert.
It was in the closet, and now it is out and proud. Charlottesville was, Charlottesville was the coming out party.
Yeah.
But I also want to be clear. I don't think all Trump supporters are white supremacists. I don't. I know that's not true.
Right.
But I think there's a lot of, in the Venn diagram of kind of these ideas, there's certainly a lot of crossover.
And have you seen this crossover play in Chicago recently? And do you think that if you ever went back to Kevin Lamb, that you would update the circumstances in which the circumstances of your source, I should say, of your inspiration of Kevin Lamb? Do you think you would ever change that, and how that might change the story as we, as these lines and as we intersect in different ways in these power structures?
Yeah, I think I have to, because I think that as a kind of, playwright, as human, citizen living in the field, and then coming back to the document, I have to go, all right, how do we make this relevant? But I actually do want to keep it in 2012, because I think there was a complacency with Obama and the symbolism of Obama that allowed the country to go, things are cool. And I think that in relationship to what's happening now, like when you combust those things, therein kind of lies the thing to look at. In that combustion, that spray is like, oh, wait a minute, what does it mean to be a citizen? What does it mean to be eternally vigilant? Because that is the cost of citizenship.
Just because I've heard this argument a couple of times before, do you think that us not addressing race while we had a Black president in office is part of the reason why we are in this mess, just like actually confronting it? Or do you think that would not have mattered at all in the grand scheme of things?
I think it would have helped. I mean, certainly, look, what was the beer summit that happened early on in Obama's presidency with, I cannot believe I'm forgetting his name. He's a professor at Harvard, African American Studies. Yeah, Henry Louis Gates.
Yes.
Yes.
That sounds familiar.
Rhoda Africana. Yeah, and that cop, and like that was a moment. That was the black president, you know, in quotes, saying we're going to have a teaching moment of this thing that happens and has happened. And what happened? The right created a narrative about how bullshit it was and how silly it was. And the cynicism of that, you know, there's a line in the play about the fundamental project of human civilization. Well, society is an expression of our ideas. We built this, and we inherit these systems that we did not build and these social contracts we did not write. And here's a moment where the president is saying, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
And he was laughed at by a section of the country. How cynical and how arrested by arrogance is that population that they couldn't for a moment go, wait a minute, let me take a step back and let me respect the president. And now we're talking, you know, now we're condescended to and talking about respecting the president in this, you know, what is a slow moving coup. You know, it's very frightening, and it's the core of hypocrisy. It's like hypocrisy, like with cocaine sprinkled on it. It's like active hypocrisy. And it's like, you know,
frantic and
it's
nerve-wracking.
it's frenetic.
Yeah.
I mean, you watch these zealots on Fox and, you know, these enablers. It's frightening.
Yeah.
It's frightening. And they're stealing from the poor. They're looting the treasury right now. Anyway, we're getting off topic. Or maybe it is the topic. It is the topic because they exploited human labor first. And then after the Civil War was industrial bondage. And then we had a labor rights movement to wrest control.
And now it's prison.
And then it became private prisons. Who are we going to fill that with? Right, exactly. Right. And now where are we today? And so it's all related. It's all
very systematic.
All very systematic.
On that note, I was very interested in why you double cast Harvey and Officer Ortiz, specifically because we open with Officer Ortiz trying to figure out what happened with Hank. And Officer Ortiz is a person of color. He's a cop of color. And so I was wondering, and just because there's still a specific power structure in play, even though Hank is white, there's a cop of color in the room asking him questions. And so I was wondering, how did you make that decision? Why make the cop of color rather than a white cop feeding him basically his story, his scotch-free getaway story?
Because I think power is power. And I wanted to show that dynamic in this as well. Because I think that's important. That is also a part of the portrait.
Because I feel like most people definitely just go to white cops, especially now in storytelling and in television. It's the white cop pulling over a black guy. And I think we rarely see a cop of color and what that does, especially if the races are reversed, if it's a white assailant. Yeah.
I'm not saying like all cops
right,
also,
of course.
But I do think like power is power. And the distinctions in the Latinx community and African American community, like, you know, that is a thing too. So that's just my way of kind of tapping it on its head as we move through particularly in Chicago, which is like so segregated. It's crazy. But where I grew up in Rogers Park, it was really diverse. I mean, we had everybody in our block, in our neighborhood. So it was weird to me when I went to college and met someone who had never met, like, who just grew up with white people. It was like, it blew my mind. Like I think, you know, in Rogers Park and in that area, it's, you know, that is representative of America. And, you know, you see how people move through local politics and through whatever, and it's, you know, power is power. Yeah, I think.
So we're going to wrap up. Cool. Last two questions. You had 60 seconds and Donald Trump was in this room. What would you say to him? You kind of said a little before, but you can say more now.
If I had 60, I'd say, I don't know. It's really hard. My funny response is just like, please go away. But then we'd be stuck with Pence. I don't know what I would say. It would take a lot more than 60 seconds. I would have to find my way in with him. I'd have to flatter him and kind of Kim Jong-un it up a little bit so he I'd have to act like a real asshole so he'd be able to hear me first. How to win friends and influence people. He's one particular you really got to figure out. I don't know how I'd do that. I don't know if there's anything I'd actually want to say to him. I want to dismantle his power. There's nothing I want to say to him.
That's a great way. That's like a great you're the last playwright of the season to answer that question. I'm not even going to talk to him.
I have
love
nothing
it.
to say. Yeah. I mean, if I was Kim Kardashian, I could get people out of prison, maybe. There's a lot of people who could use a pardon.
But then you'd be married to Kanye.
He's
from Chicago, so
he's got money.
Okay.
I'll be taken care of.
She's got money too.
I'd marry both of them. Let's open it up.
Yes, playwrights doing it for themselves.
Yeah, poly playwrights.
Poly playwrights.
No, I'm monogamous.
And what did you have for breakfast this morning?
What did I have? I had what did I have? I had a banana and muscle milk that I got at the deli. I flew in and I needed something quick.
Banana and muscle milk.
That's what I got.
That's good.
Quick food. Quick New York.
Great.
Bodega food.
No, bodega food is like a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
See?
And like a hand pie.
Yes.
Like a honey bun.
Get it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get you one.
I don't need a honey bun.
You don't need a honey bun?
I'm trying to cut down on my honey buns.
Everyone needs a honey bun.
I know. Well, if you had too many, you need to cut back.
What if I just give you a honey bun?
I'll probably eat it.
Yeah, great. On that note, before we hear our last song by Ashni, I just want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Thank you for listening to the Parsnip Ship. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the Parsnip Ship NY. We have our latest episode, which is called What We Look Like by Bruce Jones and Jonathan Mello. And our next episode that we are going to release is The Mermaid's Parade by Gina Femia, which is coming soon. Feel free to subscribe to the Parsnip Ship on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. All of our previous readings and playwright interviews and music are on there. We would like to thank Dumpling House Studios for hosting us tonight in their space. We'd like to thank our wonderful cast, Michael Countryman, Erin Wilhemi, Cinderella Complex, aka Catherine Curtin, Wesley T. Jones, Tony Patano, Evander Duck Jr., and Patrice Bell. This reading was directed by Michelle Bossy. Written by Matthew Lee Earlbach. Thank you again, Matthew.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Our musician tonight is Ashni. And thank you to Fernando Castillo, our sound engineer. And we'd like to thank our TPS team, Jesse Manning, our producer, Katie Donnelly, our producing director, Rai Z Long, our artistic associate, Blaise Teicher, artistic associate, Todd Kirkland, managing director, and produced by Business Lunch Productions. Thank you all for listening to the Parsnip Ship. This season, we will return next fall with readings at the Mark O'Donnell Theater at the Actors Fund in downtown Brooklyn. And last song by Ashni.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to say hello and thank you for coming and thank you for having me. My name's Ashni. It was a super honor to be involved with this particular project, and I was in a moment when I came up to play right after the play closed. So I'm sure you shared that sentiment. You can follow me at Ashni Music if you are interested, on all social media situations. The songs you heard tonight were called Honey. That was the first one. The second one was called Weave. And this last one is called How Much Is Your Silence Worth? It's quite long, the title, and I thought it would be appropriate for the content that we heard tonight.
He told you how to hold your neck. He told you where to put the wreck. We've been tracing our veins, gliding like rivers after heavy rains. How much is your silence worth? Did they take it from you, girl? Pawn your voice for moving lips. Trade your current for just minutes. Make my impulses feel spine instead of your arbitrary lines. We more than just our fight, worthy of reverence outside of how much is your silence worth? Did they take it from you, girl? On your voice for moving lips. Trade your